I'll see if I can do this in one take. This is actually some pictures I took on the Okinawa island, and I didn't scan all of them. That's the thing. I just noticed that this was actually a castle, and had a bullfighting ring in it. Actually, this is a bullfighting ring in here. And they didn't do it the way they do it in Spain. It was sort of like, I think, a bull against a bull or something like that. It was a little bit different. But it's actually a castle site, a Gina Castle site. This is all part of Gina Castle site here. The bullfighting ring was down below. This is windsurfing over in Okinawa, Japan. And this, I remember you could actually drive your Jeep on here. There was a lot of people with four-wheel drives that they're going, and now they might have changed this. This was back in the late 80s and mid to late 80s up to about 91. So these pictures are probably from like around 86, 87 or something like that. You drive along, and there's like a big steep hill, and you get down in the sand, and you could park there and stuff. It was pretty cool. So this was a Buddha that somebody carved it was in Peace Hall. It took him 25 years of his life from 1957 to 1973 to carve this large wooden Buddha. I think it's huge. I mean, like you're standing, you'd be about this tall right there next to this Buddha. It's like, I don't know, 30 feet high or something. It's in Peace Hall. It's, one guy did this. One guy just dedicated basically his entire life to doing this. Now, this is something a lot of people don't even know about. This was a cave in South Okinawa. It was only discovered in 1967. It's over a mile long. It's a cave. I'm sure there's more caves than that, just that they're undiscovered. It's like, for all the hundreds of years and thousands of years that people have been on, I didn't even know about this until 1967. It's over a mile long. Now, I want to go through these pictures kind of quick. We were up in a helicopter. I was taking some pictures. This is like going down. But you know what I'm going to show you about this? See the coral reef? Probably not showing up like, you're looking at these 4K videos and stuff. It's really bright colors. I'm going to try to pump the color up on a little more of this. But you could see from the air, the complexity of the island. It's not like you're in the Bahamas where everything's flat and stuff. This thing is so mountainous, so rugged. There's so many other interconnected islands with roadways. This down here, these are some Marines. This is up in Central Training Area, CTA, doing some, exercises out there and stuff. This is South Okinawa, Naha City area. That's the crowded area. This would have been Hamahiga Island. Road by the Sea is in the back. There was like a road by the sea, and it took you out to 3 islands. They connected it. It was Henza, Miyagi, and Ike Island. In Hamahiga, I think they made a bridge to that later on. They were constantly making bridges to these islands. There's so many bridges out there that were constructed after I left. One of them actually was, I think it was Seisoko Island. They constructed a bridge when I was there, and I drove on there, and I was like, yeah, wow, an American, oh, wow, kind of freaking them out a little bit. This is Mount Kusuku in its center, near the Motobu Peninsula. Okay, so that's off the meadow. Yeah, I think I don't know if they might have built a bridge to that. So, but the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's a very, you say the island's only 67 miles long or 64, depending on how you measure it. And in some places it's only 2.5 miles long, wide. And in some places it's like, with the peninsula, I mean, it's like 30 miles or something. But it's so like rugged, and it's like, it seems way, 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 way bigger. You don't realize, if you're just looking at a 2D map, this is Katsurin Peninsula. There's like castle on here. There's Old Castle, Katsurin. Again, this would have been Katsurin Peninsula in the background. This would have been White Beach. I think it was a naval area too. Naval training area right up in here. This thing right here. If I remember that correctly. Near Motobu Peninsula. kind of like a lot of pictures from this. So I'm just gonna kind of go through this kind of quick. Miyagi Island. This is Miyagi Island. There's like 3 connected islands there. This would have been the submarine park and observatory. That's another thing. These are like all tourist attractions for Japanese. I got pictures of this submarine park in here. They got a submarine that goes around. And you can take a trip in it. This would have been probably Camp Foster, and I think Camp Kinzer was in the background. Here these towers are in Naha. Now this was an intricate coral. This is coral like you find in the ocean, and somebody carved this out. They take natural coral. This was in the Peace Hall Museum, and it's like you got to have some serious patience to do this because, and if it's not a very strong material. Like if you drop it, all your work is gone. It's like you got to have some serious patience. I think that's why Japanese are so good with electronics because, if you could carve something out like that, I think you got the patience to tenaciously figure out electronic schematics, right? You look at this piece of coral. Some of these coral complications kind of remind me of electronic complications, so they're good with electronics. So Okinawa Peace Park, this is back. So that was inside that building. You can see the traditional stone roof on it. This would have been crossing over the island, going east to west. It's sort of like the mountains, the blue sky, the white seagulls you can see in the background. This is the dragon boat races. They always had these over by Naha. You see these are Marines in here. Now, the trick to this thing is you could be like a serious weightlifter. It's not so much your muscles. I mean, that's some of it's, comes into play, muscles and endurance. It is your coordination and your ability to work as a team. If you don't work as a team, you're not gonna do well in this. So that's dragon boat races. You see, I don't know if some years the Americans did good, some years, but they got the Japanese. They're pretty well skilled at this stuff, and usually they win. So they work as a team. Got to work as a team. And again, this was it's actually very close to Camp Kinzer. So these are cool things you can go see and stuff. They're always having festivals, always having fireworks. The Japanese or the Okinawans are in some ways the Okinawans and Japanese are the same but different. I'll say that. The older generation is more Okinawan cultural, but the younger generation, I don't know, they're still holding together their cultures. So this is fishing off of Zampa Misaki, Bolo Point. There's also castle sites, like in Zucaran, there's a castle site in Zucaran. There's like 8 castle sites on this little island. It's amazing. I think it's even more than that. This was a freaky thing because this was Gushikawa Castle site, and you see this hole. This is a hole up here. These are a couple friends of mine. They're down here. You're looking over the rock. They climbed up there, and I just took their picture. But I took this picture. You see this hole up here? You could be walking up around there, and you could just fall right through that hole. It's like, they got safety standards, but it's not like, well, the thing is, I noticed that there was a difference in legalities as far as, suing people left and right or suing the park or something. Because you can walk around these parks, and they might have a railing there, but then they don't always have railings everywhere. It's sort of like common sense, don't walk off the cliff. And usually they have, what they have is a Japanese arbitrator. I'm kind of doing this right off the cuff. I'm just remembering this. Like if you get in an automobile accident, they'll have a Japanese arbitrator. Like it's so much is your fault, so much is the other fault. Skip all this other stuff. That's what they do. So I think that's partly why. And they got enough brains not to walk off the cliff, because sometimes you see here I'm standing on what is this Gushikawa Castle site. So that part showed that little hole up above there. Yeah, I could be walking around there and just walk through that hole. So, but people got enough brains not to do that, right? This is looking towards Cayenne Cape. This Cayenne Cape over here. You can notice now. You look at this coastline. Most of the island is like real rugged like this. It doesn't really have like the beaches, and in some places it does have beaches. Some have fine white sand beaches. Some have pebble beaches, but universally across the whole island, there's always coral over there. And it's great for just going in there and doing snorkeling. It's freaking awesome. You can go anywhere pretty much. Go snorkeling. This is, it's a shrine. It's a shrine to the fishermen. And they got shrines all over the place. You know, a lot of times these people are driving to go to some bar or something. They don't realize there's like all these little shrines all over the place. Buddhist shrines. And they got the Shinto priests go around, and there's also like fortune tellers on the corners of the streets and stuff. And even though most of the island is not Christian, man, they celebrate Christmas like a lot. They got Christmas carolers out there and stuff. You go down to Kokosai Dori, which is International Street in Naha, and you'll see Christmas carolers out there all the time. Kind of just doing this, remembering this stuff. So again, this is a shrine to the fishermen and the dragon boat races. This stuff I liked, you know. I like the old stuff, to tell you the truth. And this is Himiyori Park. I was down here probably like a dozen times, even though some people just see it once. I just go back and see it again. It had all these different themes in there. Some were like the Old West. You could see the wagon on there. And you can walk around those top of those walls and stuff. And, you know, I got a lot of pictures. Oh, yeah, here I am, Himiyori Park. I'm sitting there. So this was, the cactus. You know, they really decked this place out. You know, it's really pretty wild. So I guess this was 1987. Oh, so 8. You see this year here, 1987. See right next to it, 62. 62 was the year of the emperor. Hirohito was still emperor back then. He was still the emperor from World War II and everything. Hirohito, and I tell you the truth, I respect the Japanese a real lot. So I mean, I don't want to even talk about that. It's look at the cactuses. You know, this is the only place I saw cactuses on the island was in this park. But it was a theme like Old West, like a Western thing with, other botanical. It's unique. I don't know how to describe it. You know, but you pay money to get in there because they got to maintain all this stuff, and there's a lot of work that's involved in there. I noticed a lot of the people that they hired to do the type of work to maintain the gardens and also all the, like if you looked around on you see more cactuses, and you got the wagon wheels on the bridge and stuff in the back there. This is a park, though. This is a park. You see, you got a couple buildings back there. That was in a park. This is me standing on a roadway. You notice how you see how high up you are? You're going down this road. This road is like making all these switchbacks and everything like that. So, and you notice them smear. That's what they always had, these mirrors on the roads, because it's like a big convex mirror, so you can see around. So you can see if a car's coming up, and you can just look up at that mirror, because you're coming around these corners all the time. You can't tell there's a car coming up the road. Oh, this was Japanese naval headquarters, World War II command post. This is like the real McCoy. And, this is where they had this is a shrine. This is the commander's room right here. This is from riddled from a hand grenade, see? When he committed, suicide. So, this is the admiral right here. These guys are way more hardcore. That's what I was saying, like on the island. I'm not saying everybody's like, the older generation, like they were still doing like all the work around the island pretty much like that, Like, in other words, like there'd be all these palm trees you'd have on the side of the roads, right? And they'd be, taking care of that. And they used to have like these, I don't know if I got a picture of that, but they would have, this is the command headquarters. They would, they'd have like these logs, I guess you would call it, bracing up on four sides, bracing up the palm trees, and they'd have like bark around the palm trees to add as a cushion for the, so the bracing wouldn't hurt the tree. So when they have typhoons, it'll knock them all down. The trees all knocked down, so they have all the streets pretty much, where it's not a major city, are lined with these palm trees. It's very pretty, and plus they have bicycle lanes. Again, this was the Japanese and U.S. Armed Forces advance in World War II. They had that up on here, and one of the big beefs that the Okinawans had with the thing was that they kept most of their stuff down where the population was, so a lot of civilians were killed in World War II. This is like going down a tunnel. This is all carved by hand in solid rock. Amazing, huh? Amazing what you can do. Amazing. So this is down. So I got some pictures of that. So anyway, this is a Buddhist temple. This is up by Cho Gold Village. Oh yeah, that actually I think Kin means gold. So that all these temples all over the place. That's what actually a lot of people don't even know that. I think that's what it means. I think that's what it means, Kin. Just remember that. One of the problems I had with trying to learn the language over there is because I had like 2 years of Spanish in high school, and I just had I didn't really know how to speak it, but I had like a big vocabulary of Spanish words back then. And every time I tried to think of a word in the Japanese word, the Spanish word would come in my head. It was like blocking me. But, I did learn some words, and I had enough words in me to kind of get by on some things, but I don't remember them anymore. This probably was like over by the base someplace, Popeye, Again, I was commenting before about the yen rate exchange, and, this is the Suicide Cliffs, Cape Cayenne Cape in the southern tip of the island. I was commenting before about the yen rate exchange. They allowed it to float where the American dollar wasn't worth so much. In going from 1986 to say 1988, dropped probably in half value. And then and I was saying that, a lot of the red light district for the Americans. I know the red light district exists all over, but the American side probably really dissipated a lot. And I was looking at when the yen rate was like at 77 yen to the dollar. That was about when the American red light district stuff really went out of, and now it's almost, the yen rate is almost, you get almost twice as much yen. So I imagine it's probably all came back. Who knows? Yeah, it has a lot to do with money. That's really what has to do with a lot to do with that. The red light district has a lot to do with money. The Americans got a lot of money. It's going to cater to them. If the Japanese got more money, they're going to cater to them. That's how it goes. So again, this was like the monument on the end there at the southern tip of the island. Very mountainous. Very mountainous. And then I'm sitting over there. That was me. So I'm sitting over there. It's me over there, I think. Yeah, probably. You see, you just walk around here. You can fall off this thing. It's like, they don't like, it's like, I seen guys walking around, they got their kid on the back, and they're just walking around these rocks and stuff like they're like a billy goat. And nothing happens, What is this? Maeda Masaki. This is, again, this rock is like you're looking out from, this is like a resort out here. And a lot of people, they're swimming out to this rock. These are like probably jarheads over here. But, and I think that's where, I'm not sure if that's where the Blue Cave is. But this is a resort out here. Yeah, that's the resort. And this is from Monza. This is Monza Beach. Monzamo Park, looking towards Monza Beach. Oh, and these guys are fishing. That's what this was. They're fishing off this rock. That's what they're doing. I know a lot of times, the Marines are doing stuff like that. They're swimming out the rocks, and they do a lot of crazy stuff, man. These guys, Marines are nuts, man. I'll tell you that. Yeah, did this here, like, there's no people on this picture. There's no people walking around up here. I don't think I have any people, but there'd be people just walking around here. There's no rails or nothing, man. What it's interesting about this feature is like the way this is. This is just natural, right? Kind of weird, huh? So I was taking a picture from, I think, this over to that. Standing up there. this is all white sand beach, but it's the problem is, I'll tell you honestly, a lot of the best beaches kind of got gobbled up by the big resorts, and they're kind of like the mainland Japanese only areas, but they got a lot of Okinawan areas too. So I just gotta say that. Oh, again, so we got some people up here. Yeah, you see like people just walk around up there on the rocks. You see how far that is. They don't like if that was the United States, they would put a cyclone fence like about 20 feet high, and caution signs all over the place. It's like, it's imagine, it's just ridiculous, Use a little common sense. Don't go falling down, do stupid things. You can see how far down it is. It's pretty far, right? Again, this is Monzamo Park Cliffs. And, they had a part. Yeah, that's me on the right. He's just taking some pictures. And this was, this was up in the mountains, way up there in the wildlife refuge on the opposite side of North Training Area. And you can see, like, these mountains just go straight up out of the water. I mean, they're like, I don't know how good these pictures are going to come out. I'm trying to fix the color on this because these pictures look kind of washed out, to tell you the truth. A lot of, like, farmland, too, up in the north area. Now, yeah, all the rain. The rain is like, the weather there, forget about it. I mean, as far as, like, predicting any kind of weather, every day, when they need the rain, though, because they always have, if they don't have enough rain, they got reservoirs up in the north part of the island, and if they don't get enough rain, they get water shortages, and then you got to do water rationing. But the rain is, like, nice because it's like, it's so hot that that's the way it cools you off. It's like your natural air conditioning, This is on the Pacific side, northern Okinawa, probably going down, I don't know what you call that road down there again. I know the one side on the China Sea side, it's Route 58. It goes all the way up from Naha all the way up to Hedo Point. And it's more mountainous, actually, on the Pacific side when you're on the road, as far as the road goes, the coastal road. Again, you can see all the switchbacks. Like, this is the same, this road here is, I'm taking a picture from there, is that same road there. It's like, I mean, it's like so mountainous. And actually, to tell you, the people that I respect the most are the ones that do all this construction. I mean, some of these dudes on here, I look at the people, like, I don't know, it's sort of, it's the same kind of thing I respect the most in the United States, the ones that actually make the stuff. This is Ocean Expo. This is on Motobu Peninsula. Yeah. I would never ride in a cart. I just walk. So, that's for lazy people riding in a cart. This was looking out to that island. Mount Kusuku in the background. It must have been some kind of volcano to make a mountain like that. That's what it looks like, because it's just like a mountain that just comes out thousands of years ago, whenever it happened. They made that island, But they got all farms on there. At that time, the only way to get out to this island was by boat. I think they made a really, really, really long bridge out to that thing. So this is Ocean Expo Tropical Dreamland exhibit. Excuse me. Hey! Oh, man. This cat. That's my feather. And, again, this is, anyway. She screwed me up. So these are some of the beaches and stuff. But, some of the beaches, like, they got the tides. So this is typical also, like these walls, like when you have a wall on there. Well, that's me running, Panther run. I had to do a 24-hour race. You have a wall, and, around a house, it's not for, like, security. It's for privacy. That was my Japanese girl cat. She jumped on the keyboard. Screwed me up. Reminds me of a Japanese girl cat. That's Feather. Anyway, Feather the Japanese girl cat jumped on the keyboard when I'm doing this. She wants attention, you know. That's what the deal is with these cats. Oh, this is Ojima. Now this one, it's O Island, you know, O Island. It's just a circle. They call it O Island because it looks like a circle. It's only about a couple hundred yards off of, like, the main island, but you know, it's I don't know. It's just cool looking. It's another thing where, you know, you just don't. The island is way, way, way bigger than you think. So, yeah. Again, this is like these walls. They put these walls up like this. It's all for privacy, and these the stuff on these windows like this. It's really for hurricanes. You know, it's like you're thinking, "Oh, what do they got all these bars on the windows for?" Like, you know, they must have all these thieves coming in. No, it's for hurricanes. They got flying debris and stuff. You know, they don't. They got rid of. They don't do the wooden houses anymore over there, man. Pretty much everything's concrete, steel roofing. Again, this is painting in Peace Hall. I think we did. That's me again. Peace Hall, Peace Hall, Peace Hall. So many structures, man. When they do these modern structures, I'm kind of like, you know, that's weird. I like the old stuff, man. But again, you know, and sometimes this is Surrey Castle near Naha. That's another castle site. It's actually near Naha, the capital city, and it's amazing how they built all this stuff. Well, you know, like I said, like the people I kind of respect the most over there, are the ones that like fix. They do the roadways, the bridges. They're constructing all the brick buildings and stuff. They're putting all the interlocking. I guess I don't have any. I do have pictures of it. They got like these things that are like interlocking. They look like big jacks. Like you have jacks. I guess you go and you play the game jacks. They big concrete things around. They put them out there and they always build. They're always expanding the island. You know. So this was Takayama Park. Now here, this is like a traditional park. Takayama Park. They're showing like making cloth. You know, traditional things. I mean, this is not how they're doing it today, you know, but just showing like the old ways. They're keeping that alive. Of course, we got a horse in there. These things too. If you notice this thing, it's not a very good picture, but just now I'm going through this, I'm like, you know, let me remember this. They always got the shishi dogs, the lions, and the shishi dogs are protecting from evil spirits. And this is she was wearing a traditional dress over in Tokyo Park. Habu Center. Habu is a snake they got there that's like extremely venomous. Fortunately, it doesn't have a very big mouth, but it's way more poisonous than a rattlesnake. You know, that's the one thing. It is like really bad news if you get bit by them. The other thing they got is they got sea snakes. And they're like really, really, they're worse than habus, man. They'll kill you like, if they don't have the antidote for you like in 15 minutes, you're done. But they have a very, 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 very small mouth. They'll have to like bite you on like the tip of the finger or something like that. And I was in the water a few times, and I came across them a bunch of times. One time I came across a whole bunch of them, and it was in Ona Flats. And they were just in the water because it was warm, and it was only like a couple feet deep. And I'm going out, and I didn't realize they're all over the place. It didn't look like they're just real still. If you stepped on one of them, you'd be like messed up. And there's a lot of natural dangers over there. So this is a lot of handmade artifacts. I remember somebody talking about China Pete's by Gate 2 Street. China Pete's was around here, and they were around there for decades. Now I guess they're not there anymore, but I remember that was over there. But I like the older stuff. You'd see like the people doing the construction. These dudes like they'd be building stuff, right? And one of the jokes was on Camp Kinzer that the Japanese were going to build a high rise faster than the CBs were going to make a little cabanas, and actually that's what happened. The high rise went up faster than the CBs were doing for construction on cabanas. Man, that was like amazing. And what they do is they'd sleep in their cars or their trucks or whatever, and they used to wear these shoes. They're like Like you look like it was like a boot, not a boot, but like it had a. It wasn't ankle length. It was a little higher up, and you'd have like the big toe was separate. You'd see that in the boot, and I don't know. They could just climb up these places and do all this stuff. These guys are workers, man. The ones that run the bars do not make this stuff work. You know, that's what I always said. This is in what they're doing here. This ox, he's going around in a circle. This is the way they used to make the black sugar from the sugar cane. There's a lot of sugar cane on this island, so they used to make the black sugar. He's going around in a circle, crushing it up, black sugar. So this is an old wheel for irrigation or something. And this is a pottery making, old school stuff. You know, and it's like, you know, it's cool they're keeping this alive in these parks and stuff. And that's a lot of what goes on to, like almost every weekend, there's some kind of festival going on. I know the Oban is like one of the big things. They'll have the ancestry worship. And the people, what they'll do is they'll put, I think it's a candle and some little bit of food and I don't know, some other things in the highest place of their house, to basically for their ancestors. That's kind of like the religion in a way, the ancestor worship. You know, it's a common theme. So this Takayama Park was made like an old school Okinawan village. Now, there's some places on the island when you're on the northern part of the island by the Pacific side, coming down, not Route 58, the opposite side, you'll see some of the old houses there too, some of the villages, because they're less traveled. Again, this is one of the shishi dogs. You see these all over the place. They're warding off evil spirits. The lion, the shishi, I don't know, they call it shishi dog, but it's, I don't know, it's a lion or it's a cat, whatever. It's cool. That's why you got to have cats, because they ward off evil spirits. Now, these things are pretty waterproof, too. I mean, the way they make these things, it's amazing. So, some ducks. Again, but, you know, they got some discipline. That's what I got to say. I don't know what this says here, but it's an old-time Okinawa house. Here's a shrine. You'll see shrines all over the place. And unfortunately, you know, just watching some videos about the motorcycles, you know, I don't know if you call them the gangs or something like that. There's a lot of, and I was like, I remember a lot of that stuff, man. They're going around, vroom, 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 and I was on my Harley, vroom, 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 and we're going around on the island at night, tearing the place up. Yeah, I know, I'm wonderful, right? And but you know, there was people that are getting killed doing that stuff too, and they put the flowers out there because, you know, you got to be. I mean, no matter how careful you are, there's always a risk, you know. This was the tombs near Monzamo Park. Yeah, tombs. Oh, sometimes this island, Okinawa, is named Tomb Island, Island of Tombs. There's tombs all over the place. And here's a tornado that was touching down in the water, looking from Kin Beach towards. He was probably hitting a White Beach Naval Facility right around there. Tornado. They have tornadoes all over the place. And as a matter of fact, they got more earthquakes in Okinawa than they got in California. I was through a couple, not like they destroyed stuff, but it was shaking stuff, you know. Because when they put their buildings, they make their buildings, and I'm just remembering all this stuff like a flood, like when I'm talking here. I didn't even prepare this. When they make their buildings, they put these earthquake pillars way deep down. You hear this like, dung, dung, dung. They're hammering these pillars way, way deep down in the ground. So their buildings are really designed to handle like a lot of big earthquakes. Now this was from that Monza Beach Hotel I was showing before. They got this little, it's a tourist submarine ride. You can get in this thing and it goes underwater. This ship actually goes underwater. And you'd be riding around looking at the fish and the not like the submarine park I was showing before. It's where you're just walking in a tunnel. This thing's actually a boat. It goes underwater. And this was like a typical view looking from Camp Kinser. And I know they kind of built some of this land out here later on, but you could see the ocean. And there's the Kerama Islands out here. All the Kerama Islands. It was like, you never get sick of looking at that. You know? Never. Never get sick of looking at that. I don't know, there's something about it. Again, this was windsurfing. A lot of that stuff going on. Zampa Misaki, Zampa Point. And again, that's about the end there. So somebody had here, this guy, I know he had a video camera. Back then, you had a video camera, you had like tape. So you had a VHS tape, and when you use a VHS-C compact, little tape, to go in your video recorder. And that thing actually worked pretty good. And then you take the compact tape, and you put it in the big one and play it on a VHS tape thing. So I noticed a few people out there probably got stuff that goes around here, but not many. I got a lot more pictures than this. So unfortunately, I don't think I have them all scanned, and I just kind of went through this really quick to there's a lot more I know about this island, a way lot more. I traveled on it a gazillion times. I was all over the place. I got around every tourist attraction multiple times, but I went to a lot of places that even the Okinawans didn't even know about, because I put the mileage in. I mean, the miles, like gazillions of miles, man. Bicycle, motorcycle, car, but mainly running and walking. The car, you don't see nothing. You miss everything. You're on a car, you miss all of it. You might know about the tourist attraction. See this? See these? There's no rail around here, right? I'm not criticizing it, but people got enough brains not to go walk off the edge of the cliff, right? But so they would never have that here, they'd be like freaking out every 2 seconds. But if you have a car and you drive, if you drive by so many things, there's so many little shrines and stuff. Just so many. I can't. When I was looking at this thing right now, I totally forgot about that cave that was in Okinawa. It's over a mile long. The one that's got the coral. They didn't even find it till 1967. They got stuff in here. I'm sure they. Like I said, I probably, and I gotta really probably just scan some more of these pictures and stuff. But I didn't scan enough of them. I got way more than this stuff, and we'll go take a look maybe later on. But for now, like I said, this is me. It's on here. But look at that little out there. It's I forgot about those mirrors too. So it's just when I was looking at this right now. So. Anyway, over and out. Have a nice day, and peace out.